Well, another aspect of the futurist premillennialism of the early church that's important to be aware of is the fact that they held to a futurist view of the Great Tribulation, that it would be a future and brief period, and that they held that there was to be coming during that period a single personal Antichrist tyrant. This is, of course, only consistent with the futurist premillennial view. Historicism doesn't teach that perspective at all. And Preterism teaches invisible nonsense that nobody noticed. And they try to break the Antichrist prophecies down into 1,000 different references to 1,000 different people. So they basically try to break it all up into pieces and then get rid of it. That's how the preterists deal with it. So we'll prove that the early church held our view again. And these quotes I'm giving, you can of course go to my resource page and get the full quote and a link then to where you can read the whole writing online if you like. But in this video I'm just going to emphasize the parts of the quotes here that I have underlined for you. And from the Epistle of Barnabas we find the following: "The final stumbling block approaches, concerning which it is written, as Enoch says, For this end the Lord has cut short the times and the days, that his beloved may hasten, and he will come to the inheritance. And the prophet also speaks thus, 10 kingdoms shall reign upon the earth, and a little king shall rise up after them, who shall subdue under one 3 of the kings. In like manner Daniel says concerning the same, And I beheld the 4th beast, wicked and powerful, and more savage than all the beasts of the earth. And how from it sprang up 10 horns, and out of them a little budding horn, and how it subdued under one 3 of the great horns." Epistle of Barnabas, chapter 4. So here Barnabas is giving you the classic futurist premillennial interpretation of Daniel 2 and Daniel 7 as held today by futurist premillennialists such as myself. Next we have the Didache, where we find, "Then shall appear the world deceiver as Son of God, and shall do signs and wonders, and the earth shall be delivered into his hands, and he shall do iniquitous things which have never yet come to pass since the beginning." Very clear reference to this future brief Great Tribulation period and personal Antichrist. Justin Martyr, in his dialogue with Trypho, chapter 110, says this: "When the man of apostasy, who speaks strange things against the Most High, shall venture to do unlawful deeds on the earth against us, the Christians, who, having learned the true worship of God from the law, and the word which went forth from Jerusalem by means of the apostles of Jesus, have fled for safety to the God of Jacob and the God of Israel." Irenaeus makes his view clear in the following: "He shall remove his kingdom into Jerusalem, and shall sit in the temple of God, leading astray those who worship him as if he were the Christ," and toward the bottom there. And then he points out the time that his tyranny shall last, during which the saints shall be put to flight, they who offer a pure sacrifice unto God. And in the midst of the week, he says, the sacrifice and the libation shall be taken away, and the abomination of desolation shall be brought into the temple. Even unto the consummation of the time shall the desolation be complete. Now 3 years and 6 months constitute the half week. It's Irenaeus from Against Heresies, Book 5, Chapter 25. A very clear endorsement of what I've been telling you. Not only do you find here the future brief Great Tribulation and personal Antichrist tyrant, but you find even the connection here saying, hey guys, this is the final half of the 70th week in Daniel chapter 9. In Book 5, chapter 30 of Against Heresies, Irenaeus says, "But John indicates the number of the name now, that when this man comes we may avoid him, being aware who he is." And then a little later there he says, "But when this Antichrist shall have devastated all things in this world, he will reign for 3 years and 6 months, and sit in the temple at Jerusalem." And so, again, this is just very clearly in favor of the futurist premillennial view. He even has the Jews rebuilding a temple in Jerusalem for this stuff to take place. I mean, what more do you need to ask for? These guys are clearly in favor of our view. In Hippolytus, we find the same teaching. "There will remain only 1 week, the last, in which Elias will appear, and Enoch, and in the midst of it the abomination of desolation will be manifested. Antichrist, announcing desolation to the world. And when he comes, the sacrifice and oblation will be removed." That's in his commentary on Daniel, section 21 and 22. Again, all of these quotes are available on my resource page for your own study. Please go there and check it out. I'd like to have more people come and participate. And Hippolytus says in his treatise on Christ and Antichrist, section 5, he says this: "We take the Holy Scriptures themselves in hand, and find out from them what and of what manner the coming of Antichrist is, on what occasion and at what time that impious one shall be revealed, and whence and from what tribe he shall come, and what his name is, which is indicated by the number in the Scripture, and how he shall work error among the people, gathering them from the ends of the earth, and how he shall stir up tribulation and persecution against the saints, and how he shall glorify himself as God." So there you go. I hope you found that helpful. Visit my resource page. Check out those quotes for yourself. And I encourage people really to read some of the early fathers. Whatever. I don't like calling them fathers, but you know. The earliest non-canonical Christians. The church leaders, they were leaders in the churches, so they were important. Their opinions mattered. I suggest you go read them because they weren't preterist and they weren't amillennial. You know, the future brief Great Tribulation period and personal Antichrist. This rules out Historicism, rules out Preterism too. So give me a like if you liked the video. I'll see you next time.